Why did they do this? Hello and welcome to my house. I don't know about you, but my favorite sector of YouTube is home and home updates. And while I don't have anything to update on because this is my first video of my home, I wanted to give a baseline of where we're at and what my vision is, because we have been in a place where we have not been able to make updates, and we are about to enter into a phase where updates are in reach. We live in Indianapolis. We bought this house in 2020, so we've been here for exactly 5 years in July. The interest was super low, and so we really just got so lucky. I would like to do a couple of structural updates and paint and mostly the kitchen. So I guess let's start in the kitchen, which needs probably the most help personality wise. One of the first things we did was we installed these open shelves. I'm really into the stainless steel shelves at the moment. I just think they look so cool. In my dream, we would take down these cabinets all together and do 2 floating shelves. And then in my dream, I would put a tiny, I forget what they're called, but those like long skinny windows at the top to let light in from the living room, which is on the other side of this wall. I've also seen people recently hanging like a picture right here that would add like color, and I think that's a really good idea, but I just haven't found the right one. And our backsplash is really thick, and so like from where the wall is to where the backsplash is just a really big difference, so I'm not sure how I would hang it. Which the backsplash I'm also not in love with. It's just all very basic, but it is what it is. Okay, turning you around. This door we never use. It's always open, but I've been thinking of putting like the Japanese curtains that are like side by side. I think they're called nori curtains. And then getting a Roman shade for this window that goes across both, because this is not working for me. I thought about putting maybe a glass door here too, like an antique glass door with like a good color. Tell me what you think, if I should do curtains or an antique door. On the other side of the kitchen is this nook, which we did build out probably 3 years ago. And I will say that my style has changed a ton since building this. It has like a light pink backing on it. We've been drawn to more dark woods, and so I am struggling to fit this corner of the house into the rest of the house and make it make sense. But I am thinking of switching this out for a ceramic hanging light, and possibly doing something like this in the living room that's like more saucer looking. And then I do have an idea with this plant to have it hanging in our skylight, which is one of my favorite features of the house. So it would be like up here. And I think that could be really beautiful. In between the kitchen section and the living room is this little nook that has our kids' bedroom and our bathroom. And this is like our little coffee station, I guess, but we also have like a Breville on the kitchen counter. So this is just like extra stuff. We would love to do a built-in in here, but we just need to think of a purpose that it would serve. And I really enjoyed the mirror up there and the light that it reflects. So part of me is like, take it all down and just put a Hovet mirror in there. And then the other part of me is like a cool built-in with maybe a mirror incorporated. Okay, now for the beast that is this living room. We designed and made this couch. It's L-shaped. It is brown and cream houndstooth. Garrett built the couch and I made the cushions and we designed it together. And now that it's in here, like the second we put it in here, I was just like, it is so big and so brown. So it's been really hard to figure out what coffee table goes with this and what rug goes with this. And I thrifted this off Facebook Marketplace, and then we just recovered it and like painted on it just to add something like fun to the space. But it needs to be wood, and I think it needs to be a warm wood. There's an vintage IKEA coffee table that I think would look so good here, based off of an Instagram picture or a Pinterest picture that I saw, that has like a similar colored couch. And then back here is a red frame of a giant Santa Claus that I bought at Goodwill. And then every day Garrett puts a picture in Gus's lunch. And so I just put them all together and framed it. And it's one of my favorite things that I've ever thrifted and then changed. I thrifted this lampshade with a lamp that my mom gave me. Garrett made this chair and this stool that's next to it. This photo over here is a photo from our friend Sherilyn that we bought. It's our first art piece that we bought. And I'm so in love with it, but I do wonder if it's too heavy or too dark for the space above the couch. It's possible that I might put it in my office. When I change my job, that whole room is changing, so we'll see about that. And then I recently just bought these floating shelves to add some stainless steel, since that is my new obsession. This room is a little bit hard to film in just because it's so tiny, and because of the windows, but this is our office. It has served many purposes: a guest room, a yoga room / workout room, a creative space, a YouTube editing space, and most recently is becoming my office for when I get this new job. But yeah, this room is about to change. This I just sold on Facebook Marketplace, and I have stools in here and a rug in here and a desk that's coming down, like a little floating desk. So I will film this transformation, I guess, but nothing is staying the same. Why did they do this? And then they thought, we'll cover it up by putting a light up boardwalk on the ceiling, which truly just doesn't make any sense. So this is fun. It does have the option of a nice glow, but still it's like the bad gray wood that everyone has on their floors in like new apartments, but it's on the ceiling, and I don't understand. We did build this closet. There's this strange nook in this room between like possible chimney or something, and then yes, this weird nook. Anyway, so that's there. I've also been thinking of maybe putting a track curtain on that section, or having Garrett build like closet doors that would open just to hide it, and maybe making the doors like very wooden, antique looking. Okay, if you can see this nook right here, this nook perfectly would fit a king size bed with a little extra room to have nightstands. I don't like where they put the opening to the bathroom, so we've been thinking of putting our bed here. It would end about here, and then we would change the opening to the bathroom. I just feel like this nook could make this room make sense as far as where a bed goes. Okay, now this is the bathroom. Here's the opening. I would be moving the opening to be over here, right in front of this window, basically, would be where the door would move to. So it would let more light into the bedroom, and I think it would make more sense. I also would love to do a track curtain that covers this closet, or building out a closet. I don't know if anyone else was totally overwhelmed by that, but I certainly was. There's a lot to do. And also, I'm so thankful for the space that we have and the way that we've been able to take our time switching things out. All of this to say, we have some work to do. There's so many things that I love about this house, and a lot of thrifted pieces that I'm really proud of, and art that we've started collecting that I really love. And now we just have to make it make sense. So see you next time for some sort of home update. It will probably be an office update, since that is the next thing that we're changing for sure. But my guess is that the home updates will be coming swiftly, and I am feeling very excited about the opportunity to be able to lean into my creative autonomy and bring this space to life in the way that I see it in my head. But if you think of any rug and coffee table suggestions based off of what I told you, please let me know. And I'll see you back here next time.